Okay, let's try this again. Some of you may already know, but I tried this earlier on Facebook, and apparently the volume wasn't working very well. So I decided to go back to YouTube. So it's not going to be live, but the volume should be better. Anyway, as I mentioned in the earlier effort, I was downstairs eating a little something in preparation for hockey tonight. I don't usually eat a big meal before I play hockey, so sitting in front of the TV. My wife likes to have the news on, so watching NBC News talking about the fires in California. And as you might expect, that got the juices flowing, got my mind working again. Sometimes it goes dormant, but every now and then it starts working again. Anyway, I just got angrier and angrier the more I watched it, because the stuff they were saying, I'm thinking, that could have been prevented. That didn't have to happen. I wonder why they're allowing that to happen. And it's so obvious to me, the stupidity involved. And yet these idiots, and it's not everybody. I know not everyone in California is a liberal, but obviously most of them are. And I do have some friends who live out there, so I am concerned about some of this stuff. And I just want to ask somebody, I want to grab them by the collar and go, are you that stupid? All right, start with this. Why does California have so many wildfires? And when they do have a wildfire, why do they always seem to spread so far and wide so quickly? There's got to be a reason for that. And it's not just, lightning strikes or global warming. That's got to be the stupidest damn explanation I've heard from these idiots yet. It's global warming. Really? So it got a half a degree warmer and the woods just caught on fire? These people, I'm telling you, there is a reason. Whether it's a campfire left unattended, a lightning strike, somebody throwing a match out the window, it's not the start of the fire that's the key. It's why does it catch and spread so quickly? Because there's a lot of fuel. Now, when I say fuel, I'm not talking about coal or gasoline. I'm talking about wood, dead, dried up wood. Well, where does all this dead, dried up wood come from, you might ask? Well, trees die, branches fall off. And when they fall off, of course, they die because they're no longer attached to the tree, and thus they dry up. So you've got all this dead wood laying on the ground that's dried up, easily accessible. Fire can get to it quicker and easier. Well, why is that wood there, Floyd? Well, because environmentalists, liberal Democrats in California decided long ago, you're not going to be allowed to clear away that dead wood. See, the forestry department and others out there, as they do in a lot of other states, used to have what they called controlled burns. They would set a certain acreage on fire. They would have people on standby to keep the fire from spreading, and they would let it literally burn off the dead wood so it wouldn't be there anymore and wouldn't spread fire as quickly as it might otherwise. Well, you can't do that. That would mess up the ecosystem. I mean, animals live in those dead trees. Birds live in those dead trees. I mean, you would destroy their homes, blah, blah, blah. Of course, a wildfire that burns several 100,000 acres isn't going to destroy their homes, is it, Mr. and Mrs. Environmentalists? You fucking idiots. Sorry. See, that's how I get when I get angry. I say things like that. Now we've also got the issue of why are so many fire hydrants in California not working? Why is there no water? Now, if you work for Hershey, if you make candy and chocolate, why, you can have all the water you want. But if you're a citizen who needs an active fire hydrant to help put out a fire in your neighborhood, well, get in line. We'll see if we can't get some water to you soon. Now, this comes from somewhere. Someone created these policies that allow this to happen. Who might that be? Liberal Democrats, maybe? Liberals in government? It certainly wasn't anybody that's got two working brain cells. But here's where I say the elections have consequences, but people don't learn. So now on the news, I'm watching it, and these people are complaining and whining and screaming and hollering. And, some of them I feel some sympathy for. If you're somebody who's never voted for a Democrat out there, you have a reason to complain. If you are a Democrat and you voted for these liberals that allow these policies to take place, this is what you get. And I bet you're going to vote for them again, aren't you? Of course you will, because you're an idiot and you don't think and you don't learn from your mistakes. You'll do it again. I guarantee you. Watch it. You mark my words. Anybody watching this right now, liberal, Republican, man, woman, black, white, I don't care. Mark my words. You're going to vote for these idiots again. And they'll keep the same policies, and you'll keep having stuff like this happen, and you'll just throw your arms up. I just don't understand how this could happen. How could this be allowed to happen? One lady was on the news, just a regular citizen, somebody whose house had burned down. Governor Newsom is standing there next to his vehicle and, talking to people, the state's going to be here. We're going to do what we can, blah, blah, blah. And she says, well, Governor, why weren't the fire hydrants working? Why is there no water in the fire hydrants? Well, we're going to discuss that. We'll see. We'll do something about that, blah, blah, blah. Too late now. Too freaking late. But I wanted to ask that lady, if I had been there, I know, it's insensitive. Floyd, how could you say such a thing? I would have yelled, who'd you vote for last election? Huh? Who'd you vote for? It does matter. Did you vote for a liberal Democrat? Did you vote for Newsom? This didn't just happen yesterday. This has been going on for a while. Access to water in California has been an ongoing issue. Look it up. Now, you don't want to look it up, do you? Especially you liberals out there, you don't want to be bothered with the facts. You don't want to have to see your worldview challenged. You don't want to have somebody prove to you that you goofed. You made a mistake. You were wrong. No. Better just blame it on someone else. We'll blame it on global warming. Yeah, that's this global warming. Yeah, the temperature has risen by 0.8 degrees over the past 10 years, and that the woods just spontaneously combust because of that increase in the temperature. It's global warming. You're idiots. The sad thing is, you don't learn from any of this. You keep doing the same stupid shit and then wondering why the same things keep happening. Albert Einstein said, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Sound familiar? So while these fires are burning thousands of homes, displacing people, killing people, you're going to keep doing the same old stupid shit you do every election and vote for the same stupid people who create these stupid policies that are not just stupid, but they're dangerous. But you're going to keep doing it, aren't you? Because I'm not voting for a conservative or a Republican or a libertarian. Oh, no, those people are crazy. Yeah, well, look around you, Mr. and Mrs. California. It ain't Republicans or Libertarians or some other political party that did that to you. So these are the sort of things that just make me want to reach out and grab somebody and go, what the hell is wrong with you? But they're going to do it again. And it's not going to change because they're not going to admit they were wrong, that they made a mistake with their policies. Their green policies, their environmentalist policies, the whatever the reason is, they control access to water for people. You're just going to keep doing it. And one might ask, and we'll see if this comes to pass. It won't surprise me, but I'm not going there just yet. But we've seen this movie before, haven't we? Didn't Hawaii have this issue not too long ago? And what happened? Well, the government just swooped right in and took over all that land, because even though people have insurance, a lot of cases the insurance isn't going to be able to cover their losses. People aren't going to be able to pay their property taxes. Let's look at Western North Carolina right now. And you think the same thing's not going to happen in California? Well, I don't have a home anymore. I can't get to and from work, so my job is on the line. I'm not going to have enough money to pay my property taxes. Well, you know what happens if you don't pay your property taxes? That property that you thought you owned because you were paying for it, no. Government's going to swoop on in there and say, hey, well, it's ours now. We can do with it whatever we please. I wonder what we're going to see go up there later. I don't know. We'll see. But again, as I noted, that liberals, well, not just liberals. I'm going to be fair about this. Most Americans, liberal or conservative, don't learn from history. They don't learn from the past. They continue to make the same stupid mistakes. And so they're not going to learn from this. They're just going to keep doing the same old thing. And the government's going to keep doing what the government does. So, I don't know. We'll see how it all shakes out, but it is interesting how this just moves so fast, isn't it? Don't you ever stop and wonder about that stuff? I mean, I know you expect me to ask those questions because I'm a crazy conspiracy nut, but do you ever stop and think about how these things happen? Who benefits from it? Who doesn't benefit from it? Why would a state with the wildfire problem that California has so rigidly restrict access to water? So much so that fire hydrants, I'm not talking about filling up a swimming pool, I'm talking about fire hydrants, are not charged and ready to go. I mean, do you ever wonder? Is there ever any skepticism on your part about how these things happen and why? That's the thing that fascinates me about most Americans is they don't want to know. They don't want to ask questions. They just believe whatever the TV tells them, and that's the end of it. Well, those are my random thoughts for today. Again, it may not do any good. It may not help anybody, but it gets a little bit of stress off of my shoulders. I just have to get it off my chest and decompress, if you will, or vent. So keep an eye out. Let's watch and see what happens from here on. But in the meantime, especially if you live in California, you might want to ask some questions of your government at all levels. Why can't we clear up this dead wood to prevent this from happening again? Why is there not enough water for the fire hydrants? Are we really in that desperate a need of water? Are we in a drought situation that doesn't allow us to have water? I bet the celebrities out there with their multi-million-dollar homes have enough water to fill up their several acres large swimming pools. So ask yourself, why does that movie star over there or that rock star over there have a full swimming pool and access to water, but my neighborhood, which is on the fringe of a wood line, which has a history of wildfires, can't have water in our fire hydrants? You know, you let me know what you conclude, but I would just like for some people to start asking questions. That would be a change of pace. Anyway, that'll do it for now. Have a good evening.